Hello there, this is Jeff the Winifred, and today, me, PWY, What if Deku, What if Jack, and Yu-Gi-Oh! King are going to do What if Deku was in Kingdom. So,
AKA Shadow Master King on YouTube.
PWY, emotional voice. This is a
I'm
zombie.
actually not gonna do that. I have to do homework.
Okay, so Izuku, alright. This is not gonna be the original canon Izuku. Canon Izuku is gonna be the same. But there's a rumor in history, an old rumor of zombies that existed long ago in the samurai ages, and like the
Mm-hmm.
times of the in the like the times of the Japanese empires, like that zombies existed way
Way
before
before,
Quarks.
way before America,
Mm-hmm.
way before America
And
and England
and we
fucked up
and
Japan.
hmm and we're gonna and this okay is gonna be like what do you call it, Izuku. Okay, this is the main character of the story is going to be Izuku's great way too many greats great grandfather.
About fucking 20 greats.
Yup.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is like in the
And we see
BC before Christ, basically.
also Izuku's grandfather's name is gonna be Ghost of Tsushima. The title.
Ghost
Jeff,
or
you're way
Izuku
fucking
Midoriya.
wrong.
Izuku
Jeff,
Midoriya
you're
or
way fucking wrong. This is going to take
His
place
name is
in the
Izuku
mid
Midoriya, but his title
1500s.
is gonna be Ghost of Tsushima.
in the BC
Jeff,
before
you're way
BC
wrong.
before like 400 300 BC. Remember, that's the time of
No,
the
you're
Japanese
way
Empire.
fucking wrong.
What do you mean
That
I'm
is
wrong?
so wrong.
Huh?
First
The
of
people,
all,
what's the timeline?
samurais existed around the 13th to 12th century, which
I
is
mean, in the
about
Japanese Empire.
500 to 600 years old, which is probably about at least a couple of
I
thousand
know,
years
I
old.
know, I know, but I mean like the zombie apocalypse itself, like the virus itself, like was invented back then by the plant. The plant that actually had caused the zombie virus was planted back then, but nobody touched it.
No one knows about it.
Yeah. So but and now we cut to 500 AD basically. So we
We see
see
a man.
we see a man basically that is 5 foot 8.
Mm-hmm.
That is basically in samurai armor, and this is samurai armor that Peter Boy sent, and this is his build, Asa's build. That's how buff he
Oh yeah,
is.
we should
Mm-hmm.
also. What the fuck, Yu-Gi-Oh King?
Anyways, continue.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, well, basically, we should also mention that we don't own any of the photos in this.
Mhm. It's all on Google.
No, we do not. We
We
never
don't
do in
own
our any
this.
of our videos. You all should
Yes,
know that.
we never own anything. Anyways,
So, like, we're not taking credit for it.
yeah, we're not taking credit
Full
for the
credit for
We
the
photos.
never do.
original.
We're not taking credit for
Full
the
credit.
photos, but we're taking credit for the idea of the
Mm.
what if
Just
pressing.
using it for the story. That's it.
Yeah. So he basically is known as, what was it again? His samurai name?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Just write in the chat because I'm gonna forget. God, God
No,
damn
fuck
you.
that shit. You know him as the
Or the
Ghost of
Ghost of
Tsushima,
Japan.
but
Why not?
just for easier sake, it's just gonna call him the Ghost.
Because I can't
Yeah.
pronounce that well, English.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call him
It's
the
just the
Ghost of
ghost.
Japan. Ghost of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Which, a lot of the females in Japan want him. But his real name is actually Izuku Midoriya.
No one knows.
Well, one knows.
Justly because anybody who does know ends up getting their head cut off.
hmm So, what Izuku basically pretends that he is a commoner in this empire, where there's this.
She's actually really rich by himself.
hmm
Yeah, he has secret stash.
Wait, do you want to make him like a commander or something like
No,
that?
no, 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 no. He's just a
No,
commoner. Just
no,
a
no, he's
commoner.
solo. He rides solo.
Oh yeah, isn't he Sam? No, I'm talking about like he pretends to be commoner, but like you want to be like a commander of the fucking samurai or some type of shit like that.
Yeah, like when he has the battle armor on and he goes there, he's the commander. But whenever he takes the armor off, he's a and he walks around, he's just a commoner.
He's a
And
commoner.
like
He's a commoner
everybody, let's just
that
say
has
that
his skills.
he may have like the build of Asta, but like everybody just picks on him and shit, thinking that he's just some weakling, picking about how he's just a peasant and shit like
They
that.
think he's a weakling,
But they don't
but
know the
they
truth.
realize he's a
They don't.
badass.
I bet they will not realize that until like in the zombie apocalypse, which
There's a princess.
By the way, both of the no, this is it's a if the princess will come way later, Jack.
I'm not saying there's a princess, but it's gonna come like later.
Way later. Guys, both of them, people listen. Both of them
Matter of fact,
haven't watched Kingdom. Both of them never
She
watched
probably won't
Kingdom.
come. She
Also,
probably
and
won't
also,
come until like either half of the What If is done or in the second part.
No, it's
also,
one
and
shot.
also,
It's
and
a one
also, and
shot.
also,
Not two. Not
also,
two. Not a part. It's a one shot.
also, the princess is emo. Princess is emo. We're the first emo girl we ever done.
Mhm.
Absolute emo.
No, Yandere.
So yeah.
No,
So
this PWY doesn't like the obsession of yanderes. I don't do it all the time.
anyways, let me
No, it's not
continue.
that. It's just I always get to fucking do them all every time.
Yeah,
No.
and that's
Like
what I'm
when
saying. You don't like the overuse of that.
So
exactly just overused.
Anyway,
anyways. So there's this prince. Okay, he basically is normal. Everything is, similar to canon.
if there's a
The
prince,
prince is there. No, no, no. There's like the prince. I'm not sure what his name, but and there's this person that.
he's not gonna matter in a few seconds. He's not
No,
gonna
no,
matter in a
he
moment.
is, he is, he is. He's the main character in the
Prince
actual story.
Zuko.
No,
Prince
no,
Zuko.
PWY, you don't even know the fucking story. Why are you even interrupting
But
me?
Deku is the protagonist.
I know, but
Oh, okay.
but the other guys, the prince is actually the protagonist in the actual story. The only smart guy that knows what's actually happening. But Izuku,
Saizuku.
yes,
Saizuku.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So Izuku, alright, he basically was going into town. It was night, which he heard
Mm-hmm.
growls and roars like that. Which he lives in a fucking two-story house.
That no one knows where it is.
Mhm. Like
It's
in.
secluded. It's isolated.
Mhm.
Like my G is like fucking Naruto type of level. Like he's like I'm talking about like he can like fucking run on like jump on top of trees and then fucking jump to the branch, and he can fucking toss kunai.
Mm-hmm. It's
Mhm.
kunai.
Anyways, you got it. Was fine. Whatever.
Cause why not? Cause why not? Cause why not? It's Izuku and it's
There's
anime. We're putting
there's
anime in
no
the
need to
movie.
make him too OP. The zombies are already weak themselves. One man held off a horde.
Still though. So hey,
Well, it's fucking one
give
shot,
zombies.
Jeff.
I'll
So
give the
why
zombies an
not
upgrade.
make
At
him
least
Anyways,
give them
anyways.
an upgrade.
Okay, okay,
Just
okay.
give zombies an upgrade.
Okay, okay. You just tell me once. Okay, I'll understand. Anyways, Izuku, alright, he basically heard roars and growls. He's like, what the hell is happening? Which, he goes outside, he sees chaos, basically. Like, buildings on fire, people getting eaten, people hiding, people trying to survive.
he's like he's like who dare attacks the empire?
No, 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 no. Which, no, no, no. Instead of that, instead of actually rushing like an idiot, he actually analyzes what's happening. He sees people eating other people. He's like, what the hell?
Cause like he's like a great tactician or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
He got that Izuku smarts.
Which, yeah. So Izuku basically was sitting in his house. He's like, I'm gonna wait till this also concludes. I'm gonna see what's happening. So he sees the
Mm-hmm.
weather's cold. He's like, okay, it's cold weather. I'm gonna test the theory that they are lead to weather. So everything goes similar to canon basically in that night. Basically where the prince basically saves a bunch of people, and where there's survivors and like that. Which when the morning comes, the zombies just hide under houses, hide under cars, hide under high, and their bodies seem lifeless. Which Izuku basically sees the weather and it's hot, it's scorching hot.
It's like, oh, so they can't go in the heat.
So basically, they can't go into hot weather. And
So
flashback,
if it's raining,
he's like, there's only one plant that can do this. Basically, flashback
yeah.
to when there was the war, basically between the two empires. Which
Mhm.
the king was dead, which they needed a tactician, basically. But Izuku was not there. Like the opposing empire, wanted a tactician. So
Mhm.
but they thought, wait, there's this plant that can revive people from the dead. But the drawback is that they will transform into zombies, or into monsters that eat human flesh. Which yeah, which they did that, and yeah, the king accidentally bits one of the zombies, which bit one of the people, which they said that they basically gave it to their like opposing what do you call it opposing empire, and they did that.
To their
um
enemy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, but like they didn't know that it will cut them in the back, basically karma.
Mhm.
So yeah, so is it
Shizuku was.
yeah.
You don't think Izuku
No, no,
sees
no.
the
He
plant.
doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't. He wasn't there when it
It's
happened.
like a
He
myth.
isn't there. A
Yeah,
myth.
yeah. But he never knew it actually
He-
true. So the prince is like, I think they can't go in the sun like that. Which they were talking about food rations like that. Which
Shizuku
Izuku.
says, well, no, what Shizuku says,
And Izuku's not
that's
No, no,
stupid.
no, no,
Izuku's
He
no,
says,
not
no,
a
no, no,
dumb.
no, 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 no,
hey,
no,
can I
no.
listen? Can I say something?
You sure?
Shizuku says that's stupid.
Which they.
No, he's like not a dumbass. So he's like, yo guys, like add it together, bro. Like they can't go in the fucking
What?
sun.
Why
Why would
are
you
why are you talking like fucking 21st century, 22nd century almost?
Well, because why the fuck would I talk like that? Like, just think
Izuku,
of
what?
it like
Because it's
Izuku
depressing and it's
is
old. It's
is
old and stuff.
old as shit. Why would he talk? Hey yo, what? Why would he talk like that, Peter? Boy? Let me just stick the lead, okay?
all right, fine, fine, fine.
But
Just
he's
like
like,
translate that. Like
he's like,
just translate that.
In
he,
my English standards, you have to understand.
hmm which is like, hey, he's like, which
Oh,
Izuku basically says, you're wrong. Which he says, who are you? Basically, what do you mean I'm wrong?
I'm no one.
He's like, I'm no one, but listen to me. I've seen,
Oh,
I've seen the weather. It is cold. Yes. Did any of you notice that yesterday night was cold? Then then one of the crosses, yeah. It was cold. It was actually minus one. It was like so close to snowing. Zuko says, hmm. And did you notice
and when
in
did
the
the
morning,
zombies come?
and when the same sun came out, did you notice it was scorching hot? Which he says, yeah. He says, I have a theory that the zombies, that these monsters, because he doesn't know that they're zombies, he just calls them monsters, like ghouls, basically. These monsters, these
Almost.
ghoulish
Cause
creatures,
you have to, cause
these.
like you guys have to think that back then they were like they didn't fucking know zombies and shit like that.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just
yeah,
called them
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
monsters and
Or just
ghouls.
just call monsters. They're just monsters.
Mm-hmm. Which which fucking is which he says, I have a theory that that they can't go in the hot, but they can only go in the cold, basically. Which
Someone says, I want to see someone says, no, someone doesn't believe that,
yeah,
then
they
they'll
don't believe
agree.
that. They don't believe that. Which they say, we
Izuku
don't
says,
believe you like that.
Zuko then says, it's gonna come out and bite you in the ass.
Which Izuku basically, which they say we have to kick somebody out for food rations like that. Which they're all thinking. Then they look at Izuku and then they throw him out. Which is says, hey, he's
If you
like,
look at Zuko, then he just says, like, I'm already leaving anyway.
no, no, no,
No, no, no,
no, no,
no,
no,
no.
no, 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 no. Let me talk, Peter boy. He says, hey, hey, don't leave me out here. Hey, which they're like, sorry,
Food,
we need
food,
food for our children and like that.
food.
Which is like,
Izuku has a house, but has food. Come on now.
which is like,
Like add the two together, like bro, like go out into the fucking houses and ration up.
yeah, but
Or you can go out in the forest, and it's literally like forest.
but
There's
Izuku,
animals
but
in there.
Izuku, I'm gonna say that out of paranoia of getting stolen food, Izuku always keeps the food on him in a backpack,
Uh,
in a like a pouch, you know.
uh, why would you? Why would you do that? That's the most like why would he
Because
want to go back in there?
you have to
Back
think
when
about
the
it, Jeff.
dumbass.
Like he's a fucking samurai and like he's a master at like
Yeah,
surviving and like
but he
literally
doesn't
like.
have his armor. He doesn't have his armor. His armor's in the old kingdom, like the
Oh
other
no
kingdom.
no no! I'm talking about like I would think that Deku's like a master at like fucking camping, crafting like weapons and
He has
shit
the
like that.
swords.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, he
yeah.
has the swords, but
He
not the
has
armor.
the swords, but not the armor. So
No,
it's
he just
basic.
has like a he has like a fucking grass blade.
No, he has the swords like in the picture, but he doesn't have high. So he's like fine. Which he basically
Fine.
he's basically
I'll
walking
leave you
away.
to. I'll leave you
He's
to it
basically
anyway.
walking away. He's like he basically is walking away.
If y'all die, it's your fault.
Yeah. So basically, so they say, okay, then everything goes similar to Canon. How the fucking how in the night they came out again, but they managed to escape.
Hmm.
Which yeah, which Izuku basically is walking in like a grass field in the night.
Hmm.
Which the zombies are like rah, rah, like that. Which Izuku says, he's like,
Come on
oh,
then.
he's like, oh, you're approaching me. Instead of running away, you're approaching me. No, 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 it's not enough of the JoJo references.
He's like
That's not even how samurais do that. Come on, man.
I know, enough of
no,
the JoJo references.
he's like a foolish death for somebody who could have become an honorable warrior or some type of crap like that.
Honorable
Hmm.
warrior to a fucking zombie. Nice job, PWY. Open your
Anyway,
mind.
No, 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 no.
anyway. Starts slashing.
Uh huh. He starts cutting them, killing them. You know how they didn't know how to cut basically in the brain, only in the stomach, like that.
Mm-mm.
No, Deku's like a fucking. He's like a master at swords. So like he's just cutting all their heads off.
Yeah, he
Master of
was.
Swords, hand-to-hand combat too.
Uh huh. So he basically says, "All right, time to go. Time to go to the other kingdom."
So like it's like basically like a Kamiga Cobra. Like they all rush at him, and then like within a split second, all
Hey,
their
there's
he
no
just
quirks. It's
is
actually
behind them.
realistic. It's actually realistic.
He's
Realistic.
just behind them, and like he
I
sheaths up his sword, and then all their heads fucking fall off like some
I just
fucking.
like how you completely ignored me with me saying that we have to make it realistic.
Yeah,
Because
but
Kingdom is a
like
realistic
it's one
thing.
shot. It's one
We
shot.
have to
Come
mix
on, it's one
realism with
shot.
anime.
It's one shot, Jeff. Come on, we gotta make it
Yeah,
One shot.
badass.
one shot before fucking quirks. There's no powers. What do you mean 1 second?
Well, you don't have to have a power to fucking do that type of shit. You just have to be very
You
skilled.
don't, you, Jeff. You don't need the power. You don't. You just need skill.
Fine. So Izuku, alright. He basically was walking, as he saw the group, they were basically all beaten and bruised and battered, and one of them was bit, and he turned, and they fucking were fighting off the zombies or the ghoulish monsters.
Which I'm gonna say Izuku's like, I told her they're going to die.
hmm Which Izuku says,
He's just
Izuku says, I need to research more on this plant to figure out the cure, on
he's
how
like,
to do
there's no
this.
saving. He's like,
Should
there's
he
no
find the
saving
prince
this.
again? Should the prince find him again?
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't the prince believed him, but the people didn't. Which
Like,
No, like the
oh
the
prince
no,
said
no,
prince.
no,
the
no! Let's
fucking
say the
chick.
prince believed him. No, didn't believe him at first, and after the zombies came, then he believed him.
And
hmm
like And he was like one of the ones that was against throwing him out, just so this worked.
Yeah, everybody decided to throw him out except him. So basically, the prince was about to be, like, bidden, but Izuku came and saved him. He's like, no time, no see. Which
I don't see.
which
It's
the
like he's
prince,
the prince. Like, wait, you were right. You were right. It's the
he-
temperature.
he's like, I'm sorry, but I believed you, like that. I didn't believe you at first, but I believed you after what I saw. I'm sorry,
He's like,
like that.
he saved the kingdom.
Let's go.
It's
He's like,
like,
my
it's
kingdom.
alright. I didn't even
He's
need the
like,
food here anyway.
he's like, come follow me. Let's go. There's no time for apologies right now. But
Also, get a sword.
also here, which he throws him one of the swords because he has two. He says, here's
No,
this.
no, 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 no.
No, 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 no,
He gets
no.
one of his own
He just
swords. He's a
picks one
prince.
up
He
from a
has one of his.
fucking
He has to have
soldier.
a sword.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he picks one up from like a fucking soldier, or like he
Or
had
that
a
guy.
sword. He's like a fucking prince.
Uh huh.
Like back then, princes carried swords on them.
Come on, no.
Okay.
What type of prince doesn't have a weapon on him?
Prince, not princess.
I said prince. You think no?
Yeah, yeah. So he's like, all right, follow me. Basically, bring your group with me. So
But yeah, he follows him because he knows Izuku's experience.
mhm. And he says, hey, I want to talk to you real quick. He's like, what is it? He's like, I'm gonna tell you my true identity. He's like, true identity. He's like, I'm the ghost of Japan. I'm the ghost of
And
Japan,
and
or
like the
the
prince
nickname
widens
of
his eyes.
Jack. You know the nickname. I can't pronounce it.
But
You know,
ghost,
yeah, the other name that you gave him before the
ghost of Tsushima. There you go.
yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, I'm the Ghost of Tsushima. Which
And like
The
and
prince
like
knows about this.
he's like, wait,
and like
you're the prince.
the
You're like,
prince respect, like the prince in the royal family like respects him.
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
The highest degree of respect.
mhm.
Like they respect him as a warrior.
Which yeah, the prince vows says, thank you for saving my life. Basically, he's like, no
Like no
problem.
problem.
Anyways, we gotta go. Come follow me before night falls.
Which they disappear in the fog. I'm say there's a fog.
Mhm.
No, no, no. They just climb up a fucking tree.
What climb up a fucking? Hey, PWY, you didn't even watch it. I watched PWY. Please don't remove this from the fucking canon.
I at least made it more realistic. I said disappear in the fog.
Yeah, disappear in the
Oh
fog
yeah,
once
yeah.
they were walking in. So they basically are on the way to the other empire to check if they're alright and like that, and to basically settle there. To find
Which Jeff are there, right?
and to get also Izuku's armor.
Mm-hmm. Reclaim the
Because like
armor.
they were, because they were in just a small town, you know.
No, it was
Mhm.
actually an empire. It was actually a city or like a village. Yeah, it was a city actually in the actual high.
Yeah, that's like yeah, it
Like
was
they
like a
had
city,
gates,
but
they
in
had everything like that.
So say
but
the
like
princess says, ghost is like yeah.
not
It's
only
like,
are
yeah.
they there to get his armor, but they're to warn them.
Also, the prince is trained with Izuku because he really doesn't want to be defenseless.
Yeah, the prince already in the. You guys don't even fucking know. Let me just take over, okay? The prince already has fighting experience.
So he's
No,
better than
we're talking
Izuku,
about he
right? So
trained the
he's better than
princess.
Izuku,
He
right?
like trained the
You keep
princess
No,
talking
to
about
like
that.
march.
no, people, you didn't even fucking watch Kingdom. Let me just continue.
So he's better. No, no, no. Is he better than Izuku? That's my question. Are you
No,
gonna make him better than
no,
Izuku?
he's not better than
That's why he
Izuku.
trains him. Because experience. Get more experience.
Yeah, he just trains Izuku with fucking more experience. That's it.
He trains
That's
him
for
to be a
training so
better
he can get more
tactician.
experience. Damn it.
There you
Yeah.
go. He trains him to be a better tactician.
Yes, that's it. God damn it.
So you're saying
Anyways,
so general can fight. So a prince can fight a general and win.
n- no. Let me just take over. I'm gonna ignore what you just said, okay? So Izuku basically and him, they were just coming to the new empire, okay? And basically, it was night, and they were almost there. Which
Mhm.
which once they were going there, the fucking zombies were on the gate. Which Izuku like the whole high, they're on the boat basically going there. Which Izuku basically it says alerts the zombies, which like which they basically go to Izuku, which Izuku basically slicing their heads off, and
Easily,
killing them.
easily.
So is the prince with
Doing
them,
clean slices.
and so is the fucking people, and so is the nurses with them, and so is the high.
Mm.
They're all with them basically, and then they get to the fucking gateway. They say open the door, which they say who's there. Then he says the prince of this kingdom, because I kind of forgot. Which they say welcome basically. Which they open the gates and they come in.
See Izuku? They also see Izuku.
Mhm. They're like, who's
They
this
know that
girl?
he's a ghost.
They're like, welcome back, welcome back, Ghost of Japan or Ghost of Hiroshima.
Which they were, it's like, wait, you know him?
They're like, yeah, he has his armor basically situated in our empire or in our area or city.
He also has his own land.
He also has his own land here.
His prince is actually shocked.
hmm Which yeah, which they go to the fucking princess area, with
Mhm.
the queen area actually, because the queen the queen is actually evil if you don't know from the actual film,
Ah,
from the
ah,
actual
ah, ah.
from the actual high, but the princess is actually good, and
The
she
prince, the queen's evil? Like how
yeah,
evil?
it's actually evil in the fucking show.
Yeah.
Which Izuku comes in and basically Val says, "I've returned, Your Majesty."
Which I'm gonna say Izuku was one of her favorite soldiers. Why not?
hmm Which yeah, she says, "Ah, Ghost of Hiroshima, nice to have you back.
Mm.
So, how was your fight, basically, with those ghoulish monsters?" He's like,
It's
it
too easy.
is like too easy, but it could be worse."
Mhm.
She says, "Okay." Which do you want him to be already in a relationship with the princess?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Or you know what? Fuck it, arranged marriage. They were
Which
in
the
arranged
princess,
marriage.
princess,
She's like,
So,
princess is
Jack, you
which
see what I
the
sent
princess
you?
comes. She basically says, she
already saw.
basically sees Izuku. She basically is crying. She says, "Darling, you're back. You're safe." Like that. Even emos can be fucking, normal at times. Okay.
At times when you see the loved ones.
So, Jack, Jack, did you see what I sent you?
I saw what you sent.
Anyways, so he's like, the princess, darling. Then she says, "He's my fiance," which he is shocked. By the way, the princess is his sister, so he's like, "So you're my brother-in-law, huh?" He's like, "Mm-hmm." He's like,
So
"Well,
the
at
ghost
least."
is my brother.
He's,
I feel like I can be next to you.
mm-hmm. He's like, "At least the person who married my sister isn't a pervert or some shit like that."
Oh, if he was a pervert, I would kill him.
No, he's like, at least the person who's marrying my sister is the person that saved me and has my respect for being an honorable warrior.
Okay,
Yep.
that is good. Good job. Good job, PWY. I commend you.
Yep, that's actually perfect.
hmm So
Yeah.
yeah, so the queen basically is planning on bring the queen is basically pregnant and she's giving birth.
Hmm.
So she gave birth and yeah. So
And
she
what
said
what
she
happened?
so it's at night. The zombies are going against this one gate, this one small gate, basically where the one person is holding it off. He's like, "Go, please tell my wife I love her," which he dies and he's the only reason the gate is being held. which the queen, which at night, the queen basically requested Izuku's presence there with her daughter, which they came there basically, and they saw the little brother, like her little brother, which basically Izuku basically said, Your Majesty, why have you come here? She's like, oh, I called you here because. Then she stays silent and she looks at him while ruffling her baby's head, which he hears "Rawr, rawr," from the two doors next to him. He's like, oh, he basically wide-eyed looks at her and says, basically, and then he grabs his like the princess parasol, and he basically bolts out of there. But they come out, the zombies come out. Basically, the princess basically says, "What's going on?" He's like, "Zombies, get on the roof now!" Which they all
Yeah,
get on the roof.
he
Which
says.
the
Yeah,
zombies eat
that's right.
the mother and
Like,
the little
yeah,
son, and they're
he
basically
messed
planning
up.
to escape. And some people are falling off the roof and getting eaten. But some people, but Izuku, but they have to. Some people actually are doing sacrifices, which they're dripping blood, like they're cutting
Oh
in my
no, they do
hand.
sacrifices because
No,
back
no,
in the Japanese culture they believed that dying for the emperor or the royal family was an honorable death.
yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
So they were basically how you basically bring a knife in your palm and then you just bring it down and you cut your palm and then your blood drips out if you squeeze it. Yeah, they're doing that. Which the zombies gonna attracted to that, and then they go ahead and start eating on the people who do that. Which they escape. Which Izuku, before Izuku escapes, heads to the library for like a quick 10 seconds and grabs the book on the plant. Which he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Which he escapes with the prince and the two, basically the two lovebirds from the old empire, basically, and but they're alone. So let's cut to their perspective for a second. They basically were enjoying their time on the river. It was in winter, so the sun, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
then they see zombie hordes. Then they start climbing the fucking rocky mountain, which the zombies are grabbing hold of their legs like that, but they can't drag them down. Which they start climbing up, but the husband, he got dragged down because he was a fat ass.
And
Then he got eaten, and basically the nurse ran away.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, that happens, and then yeah, which is she basically meets up with Izuku. Mio is the fucking princess, and the prince, and yeah. So Izuku basically got the file on the plan. He's like, "Come, we gotta find the cure fast." Which she's like, "Yup, we gotta." So Izuku and the nurse basically trying to find the cure, while like basically once they situated in China, basically they took a boat and they went to China, which it was spreading across China and Asia, but China basically held off the borders, like all the countries held off the borders, like it's only China and Japan that are in this crisis. So Izuku basically and the nurse, they have been trying to find the cure, and they and the prince and Mio have been protecting them, which the prince has taught her how to fight, and Izuku also. But before, by the way, Izuku also has his armor, so yeah. Which they are trying to
Mm-hmm.
find the cure, which to the plant, which they've researched that there's another plant that can cure this, but it's all the way in northern China, which they were situated in southeastern China, and they have to go like basically yeah, like
Let's
western
just say that they
western
have to
upper
walk like,
China.
let's just say they have to like walk like 1,000 miles or like 10,000.
Yeah, they have to go 10,000 miles, which they do that, and
Mm-hmm.
they are going, which yeah, which they when they are on the way, they basically encounter some zombies, which they killed them. Which Izuku
Seriously.
basically was, going, and then they found the plant, but the old kingdom from Japan that wanted this all to happen basically said stop. We will stop you right there. Izuku says I will not stop. We will cure this basically before you wreak havoc
You
on
did
the
not have
west
to
on the
lay
world.
down.
Which he started fighting them, and he killed every single one of them. But there's this one guy, the
One
dark,
guy.
the knight, the killer knight,
The Dark
the
Knight or
the
the
dark
Red
knight,
Knight.
yeah, the dark knight of that empire.
And these with Izuku, so it's like, Dark Knight. So we meet again.
He's like,
And make
Yeah,
fun.
they're like equal aspect. You want to do that?
yeah, they're equal as strength. Which
Right, technique,
which
technique.
hmm
Eh.
yeah, but Izuku, okay, has one last move basically, but he doesn't use it that much because
Wait, you want the
it breaks
you
his
want the
bones,
prince
like it
and
breaks his
you
right
want the
arm, or
prince.
like it breaks one
Wait,
part of the
you want the
bones.
prince
How can he
and
break his right arm? Does he have
wait
that
wait
much strength?
wait
He does
wait
not have that
wait
much
wait
strength. He doesn't
wait
have superhuman strength like that, or
I know,
powers like
I
that.
know, I know,
wait
but
wait
like
wait. You want
because of
the
the position of the sword and like that, it will break his
guys
arm.
guys 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 guys. You're rushing this
What?
too fucking.
It's a one
You're
shot.
supposed.
There's not that much in Kingdom. PWI.
Well, fucking listen. You got a badass fight scene
Yeah,
now. Now, what I'm
I know. We're just
what I'll
talking about
suggest
the
Oh,
doing is
okay,
having
can
fucking
PW.
listen.
We are
What I
talking.
suggest.
I'm telling you about a move that
you
he will
stop fighting. Stop
use.
fighting. Stop fighting. Stop this fight right now. Stop. Stop, please.
About
What
a
Stop.
I'm
move that he will
listening.
use.
What I'm
Listen to
trying to
PWI.
say is
Listen,
that we
listen,
should.
listen. Just listen to PWI, please.
I'm planning.
PWI, can you talk, please?
I'm talk PWI.
Yes, calm down, please.
All right. So what I was about to say was we should have it to where the prince and the when Deku are fighting together in
Mhm.
sync, fighting together against the Red Knight.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
planning about. But he will use the last move, basically. But I will talk about it later. Let me take this on. So Izuku basically said to the prince, "You ready?" Which the prince said, "Yeah." Which they basically charge at each other. Which the swords are clashing, making sparks. Which
The teamwork is perfect.
yeah,
Perfecto.
it's basically Goku and Frieza basically versus Jiren, but with swords.
Mm-hmm.
So they are fighting, and Miki was hoping that her brother and her lover come out alive out of this.
Mm-hmm.
So they're fighting, and they are in sync, but they are tied with the Red Knight, which Izuku gets slashes across his body, the Red Knight gets slashes, the Prince gets slashes, which they are fighting basically on equal terms, which which the Red Knight kicks the prince out of the way, which he charges at Izuku, says Izuku, which he says Red Knight because he never revealed his name, which they basically charge the swords at each other, which it's fucking, let's just say it's fucking Kirito versus how should I say this? Kirito versus the admin. So yeah, they are fighting ham. Which
Or do you
Izuku.
want to do it
Mm-hmm.
like it's Anakin versus Obi-Wan?
I never watched that, anyways. So they are fighting, which then Izuku basically said, I don't believe that I have to resort to this. All right, secret
Time
technique.
to use my final move.
Yeah, secret technique. Knight of the Living Sword. No, is dancing blades. 1,000 slashes. Basically, he positions his sword in a way that isn't basically recognizable.
It's like, I'm gonna say the Dark Knight knows about this technique. It's like, it can't be. I can't let him finish. That was
Which
already too late.
the Red Knight tries to charge at Izuku to stop him from doing it. Which Izuku basically just comes and says, 1,000 slashes. Which he fucking breaks his arm basically while doing it, but he cuts the Red Knight into pieces with it. But he breaks his arm.
One arm. He only breaks one arm. Don't worry. So don't worry about it.
beyond repair.
No,
Basically, he's gonna only have one arm
he
now.
cut.
What?
Yeah, yeah, beyond repair. That's why he never used it.
No,
Bruh.
no, 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 no. Here's
Amputation.
what he
Wow.
did.
Why?
He cut off the
Why?
guy's. He cut off the Red Knight's arms, and then he did like a fucking decapitation, like fucking Yoda. I mean, like Mace Windu versus fucking Jango Fett.
Okay, so do you want him to be amputated or do you want him to have both arms still?
Both
Both
arms.
arms.
So which his arm's broken, but it's gonna take like months to heal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Which the prince basically goes and basically princess goes and hugs Izuku. She says, "Baka, I thought you were going to die," like that. Which Izuku places his
it's
left
like,
hand. His left hand says,
like
I'm."
don't worry about it. It's all fine. And when she sees his arm, and she's like,
She's like,
your arm.
Your arm." He's like, I said, "Don't worry about it. It's okay."
Or I did it. Don't worry, man. I'm okay. As
By
long
the
as
way,
you're okay.
the one that I'm telling you about the plant like that, it's all not canon. They actually die in the canon in the final episode.
Oh, they all die?
Yep, but in this one I'm changing it. We need them to
Okay.
survive, cause yeah,
Because like the ending fucking sucked at it in the.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that happened. So Izuku basically went and grabbed the plant with his left arm, and basically they said, "All right, let's go back to the nurse." Which they go back basically on that 10,000 mile journey, basically like the 10-kilometer journey. Which they made it back, but they're exhausted. But yeah, but like, which they got encounters with zombies, but the prince always protected Izuku because his right arm.
Oh no 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 no. He's like my no. He's like my guy. He need it.
Uh huh. So
Bro,
He
he
he,
just
need
whipped
he
that shit off. Like fucking Piccolo ripped that shit off. Dude. But
he
like
used his bad
he
hand.
doesn't need both of his hands to fight.
I
You
know,
know,
I know, I
he
know,
just
but like, yeah, the prince protects him whenever he can't see his back. Like they have each other's backs.
Yeah. Which also and also Izuku.
even let's
It's not
just
his
say
good.
that she knows
Izuku's
how to
also it's not
fight
his
a
good.
little bit. She
One
knows
at a
how like he
time.
taught like no, he taught like
Also, it's not Izuku's
he
good hand. So
Zuko like
it's
taught
One
her
at a fucking
like a
time.
little bit of what?
Peter,
one
will
at
I
a
go
time. I'll
first?
talk while you're talking.
All right, well basically what I was gonna say was that Izuku like trained like the princess like a little bit and train in like sword art just enough for her to protect her.
Mhm. So yeah.
Also, also Prince wants to know about Izuku's like final technique, but Izuku says it's a forbidden technique.
Mhm. Do you want them to
I
go into
made
the
last.
future and Izuku meets his great grandson?
Nah, that shit gave him immortality, bitch.
No, 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 no. He's gonna go into the future somehow. Like, you know how fucking ReZero, once he blinked, he got into the future? Yeah, he's gonna go like that after he saved the world.
Does he see the world?
No, no, no.
And
Before he
do we have to do
died.
the scene?
No, 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 no,
Jeffrey,
no, no,
we
no,
have to do
no,
a
no,
scene.
no,
You know
no,
what I
no.
mean?
Let's do like some
Yeah.
Bardock type of level of shit, bro. Or like Zuko's like he's about to die as like like an
No.
old
How is
like
the other Izuku gonna be
samurai.
born if that one's dead? How? Explain to
Oh
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true, true. Like
I told
he
you.
saw a little bit of the future.
No, no,
Because
no,
how the
no,
fuck
no, no,
does
no, no,
that
no,
make
no.
sense?
We're gonna do the ReZero type shit, okay? Which they
All right,
basically
fine.
went back and they created the cure with the flower. Which they spread it around and the zombies turned back into humans, like that. So yeah, which Izuku and Mio, they basically did it. Uh, Jack.
Do we want to go in more detail or no?
We're gonna go into the detail for the future, which they did it and they had the sun.
Hmm.
Which then basically Izuku and Mio, they were basically hugging like that, like cuddling. Then Izuku basically and Mio blinked at the same time, which they saw they were on a bench, basically in a world in like what do you call it, a grass green area with basically things and kids playing. He's like, wait, where are we? Which Izuku basically holds Mio next to him, which he has his sword. He has his swords basically because he doesn't have his armor. He just has his swords.
So you want to make it to where like they saw like that kill of like 6 arms or whatever,
Uh huh. They basically they saw the kid with the 6 arms. Basically, they see Shoji, I think is his name.
and Bakugo and like the wing quirk guy picking on like Deku and like he's like yo, he's like whoa, it looks like me.
He looks like me, but what the hell is all of this? Are we in the future? Miyu says, I think we are, darling. Which they going around, he says, Oi, Deku! Which he doesn't turn around. He basically, Baku places a hand on his shoulder. He's like, you need something, kid? Which he's like, who are you calling a kid, Deku? He's like, I don't know
Yeah,
who
we should
you are,
make this
sir.
middle school
He's like, I don't know who you are, sir. Or I don't know who you are, kid, but yeah, watch out, basically. Alright,
before
see
you
ya.
get killed.
hmm Which, Baku says, Oi, what happened to you? Basically, and he's like, Kachan! Basically, hears from behind him. And Izuku basically sees a mini version of him. He's like, huh? What the hell?
No, but they're like he's like um Zuku, like the future Zuku, is like 2 inches shorter than the other Zuku.
Like the Izuku from the past. Izuku from let's just say Izuku in the future is basically like 5'6", and Izuku from the past is like 5'7", 5'8", like 2 inches is taller. Like Izuku from the past is five
Mhm.
foot two 2 inches taller. Which
And he
Yeah.
looks at himself, look at his son, is like,
he's like
have you been trained?
he's like then basically he's like who he's
No,
like
he's like, damn you, Deku. I hope you're not training to become a hero
he,
again.
he's
I
like
thought I told you that you should give up on that dream.
he's like
Zuko's
hero.
like, oh, really?
He's like hero. I'm already
He
one.
has a sword.
He's like, I'm already one. I saved the fucking population from a from a ghoulish monstrous crisis.
But then Bakugo
Literally
hears the
5 minutes
legend,
ago.
hears that. It's like, yo, you can't be.
Which Izuku basically says, hey, I'm back. Like, Kachan. Which basically, which the past Izuku and the future Izuku look stare at each other. He's like,
Like, what?
then past Izuku is like, why do you look like me? He's like, what? Why do you look like me? He's like, kid, what's your name? He's like, Izuku Midoriya, which he says, my name is Izuku Midoriya, which
Is that strong?
which he says,
Wait, the only person other than Zuko Midoriya is my grand
wait,
great grandfather.
he's like, wait,
You can't.
wait, great grandfather? Wait, what are you talking about, kid? I was just in my castle with my wife. What do you mean? With my wife Miu here. What do you mean? What do you mean, great grandfather? Then he realizes that he had a son, basically, and he's like, wait, so my son, so, so you're my great grandson, huh? Great grandson.
Zuko's like, yeah,
He's like,
I also train with a sword sometimes.
He's like,
no,
so
he's like, you want him to train a Zuku, like future Zuku, and then like get isekai back.
Yes.
or
Train
should
for
he
the 10
stay here?
training.
Or should he stay here? I think he
Stay
should
here,
stay here.
stay in the
Yeah,
future.
stay here. Stay in the future. Yeah, basically like ReZero. So Izuku
And
basically.
like Zuko would be like his successor,
Future.
like the future one.
With who? I forgot who the name of the princess is. You
Mio,
think?
Amayo.
You?
So
We're just me and Jack are just gonna say princess because fuck if we can remember that.
okay.
Princess. Yeah, the princess is like,
So,
this princess is there too with him. It's like, it's
so
our children. It's like,
which
no.
Which yeah,
Zuko's like, so we did. Zuko says
You
that
want
means
it
we
to
did
be
it, right? Which
funny?
Zuko's like, was like, what? Uh,
Wait, Jack, you want it to be funny?
yes.
She looks at Bakugo and the two kids and be like, "Why ain't you bowing down to me? Do you want your heads cut off?" And
he's
they
like,
freak the fuck out.
which you know, he says, Mio, calm the fuck down. He's like, Mio, calm down. This is the future. I'm pretty.
No, no,
Wait,
no. She's
he's
like,
like, he's
"Nah,
like,
just kidding."
which you know, the fucking sigh of relief is like, what time? What time is it? Like, what year is it?
It's
They say
the
We'll
20,
just go and
2000.
take. We'll
like
just go
they
and
say,
take it out of our ass and say like 2050, 50, 50, or
what
like 2056.
2056, yeah. Which he says, he
Which is
wide eyes. He says, we've gone,
also the princess wide eyed too. The princess
we've gone
is mega
over.
wide eyed. The princess is mega wide eyed.
hmm We've gone over more than fucking more than a fucking centuries into the future, basically.
No, he's like, no, no, no. She's like, we've been, we went 10,000. I'm just gonna pull this number out of my ass and go like, she's like, we've been 10,000 years in the future.
Whatever, PWY. I want to smack you for your stupidity now. You told me in the
What's
beginning
like
how
fucking
stupid I
12
was. Now
centuries?
who's the
No, no, no,
stupid
no,
one?
no, no,
Like
no, no, no. Hear me out.
1,500,
Okay.
2,000, 1,500, 1,600 years into the future.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That. Fucking
So,
10,000.
Which
so I'm gonna say
he's
that
like,
I'm gonna say Zuko's like, very fuck, you teach me your forbidden technique.
sure, but first, where's the empire? He's like, empire? This is Japan. It's a country. There's no empires.
Like, oh,
Empires have
and then Zuko
went
explains
away a
what
long
happened in
time
the
ago.
future and all that happens in Japan all
He's
the time.
like, you should meet my parents. He's like, future Zuko's like, you should meet my parents, great grandpa. She's like, sure. Come on, Mio, let's go.
He's like,
Which she's
don't
like,
call me
she,
that.
Like,
no, no, no,
okay,
no, no, no.
I'm
He minds it. He doesn't mind it. He doesn't mind it, but he finds it somewhat, fucking high. He didn't even hear Son's first words for him to be called Grim Grandpa, but he doesn't mind it. So he fucking basically just like
Should we have? Oh, let's go to the point where he meets Inko.
yeah, yeah. Inko and Hisashi. Hisashi this time didn't leave.
So, so Inko goes. He's always like, "Oh, hey, Zuko, what's going on?"
Then she
What does
sees
she see?
basically Mio. She sees Mio and Izuku and like another Izuku but with black hair, next to the her
Grandpa?
Izuku.
Was like,
Y-
Grandpa?
Like great grandpa. He's
I was
like
like, what? What?
he's like he's like
Sashi's like, bitch, what?
he says, what are you talking about? Because Inko is not but Hisashi's name is Midoriya, so it's from Hisashi's side. So he's like,
Talking about
wait,
woman.
what? Then he basically sees Izuku and Mio, which it's like all the way at the top of the fucking family tree.
And he looks just like, I'm gonna kill this. I'm gonna kill this man for leaving his family.
Which
Because I'm saying Zuko has the rule of never leaving your family like that, which he broke.
hmm which
Like,
No,
punishment
no,
like
no,
that.
no, 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 no,
Hisashi
no,
tries
no,
to go
no.
and punch his great grandfather, but Izuku basically stopped him. He's like, I really wanted to. He's like, listen to me. I really wanted to raise my son, but I got isekai here, or I got transported here for some reason. I'm sorry.
Sashi's like, what? How?
He's like, I don't know. Me and Mio, we were in bed basically. We are taking care of
No,
our son.
Hisashi was like, Hisashi's like, did you think somebody used their quirk on you?
He's like, what's a quirk? What do you
Zuko
mean?
then Sashi explains what quirks are.
Mhm.
We give him a quirk? Should we not?
Yeah.
No, 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 no. He wide eyes because he believes that the flower is what created a quirk.
He's like,
Zuko's like, the flower's like, what?
he's like,
I was like, oh yeah, there's a weird flower that creates a quirk, which is Zuko's like, what's that
wait.
flower? He uses that flower to cure. It was like,
He's like, wait. That's the flower I used to create to cure the ghoulish monsters back then.
Which then Izuku's like, wait, does that mean that I have kind of a quirk too? Shit like that.
He's like,
No, he's like, wait, did that mean that our ancestor created quirks?
which,
Which
yeah.
is
Cause
Hisashi,
was
I'm
like,
gonna say Hisashi never knew, okay, about his high, but his grandfather, Hisashi's father knew, his grandfather knew, everybody in the family knew what was his true intentions,
mm-hmm,
right,
like what happened with him. So they forgave him
mm-hmm,
long time ago. But
mm-hmm.
Hisashi didn't know. So basically, he went and hugged the past Izuku. He's like, "I'm sorry," basically, grandpa and grandma, like that. He's like, "Nah, no
It's
problem."
okay.
He's like, "It's okay." But
Okay.
could you tell
So
me
yeah.
more about this world while we're here? Basically, which says, come on." Basically, I will tell you everything. Which he tells him
Mm-hmm.
about quirks and like that and what happened. And basically Izuku says, so
So Sashi's like, oh yeah, Grandpa, where did you keep your secret stash?
secret style.
Why? Because you're so it's like because it's worth a lot.
He's like,
No.
he's like, hmm, my secret stash, huh? All right, follow. All right, it should be around here. Which he points, like right in front of the house. Which he basically plants his sword into the ground because, let's just say, back then they had like a seal, okay, like a seal, basically on how to.
Seal. There's not Naruto out here. We
no,
don't
they were
No,
have
like,
not
like
Naruto,
no.
not
they were like,
Naruto. Like if
no, no,
fucking
no,
if
no,
you
no,
put
no,
his
no, no,
sword,
no. They
You
were
said
like,
no powers, no seals, seals, no
no,
seals, no don't bring seals into this. Don't bring seals.
guys. They were like great builders and shit like that. So like they could like conceal like hidden types of like locks and stuff
yeah,
that
only
like
activated
require
if
like
there
certain
was the.
types of like.
And by the way, and there was the sword stump. Like there was this stump that had like a slash like in middle of it. Like a fucking minus.
Exactly, and like everyone's is created differently. So like Izuku's like his sword is like the only one that can activate it. But
Yeah,
when
but
he
they
died
didn't
or
know.
when he was
They didn't know
isekai,
what
they
about it.
lost.
Yeah,
If
but.
Izuku didn't they see the money, which Izuku had a lot.
Mhm.
The princess was just like, when did you have so much money? You have more money than me.
He's
No, no,
like,
no, no.
he's
He didn't
like your
have
brother.
money. He just had so much fucking like gold jewelry, weapons, armors,
Which in
shit
turn
like
is
that.
money.
hmm Which
Yeah,
he walked up. He was walking
which
up to.
when
It was all with
which
cobwebs and like that. Which he
wait,
walked
wait,
up to
wait,
his
wait,
old
wait,
armor with cobwebs on
which
it.
equaled up to about I don't know, $1 trillion US.
Yeah,
Which
the whole thing costed around quadrillions actually because it's old timey shit. That you know how expensive old timey Japanese shit is.
Oh yeah, and most of
it,
it was like most of the shit that was like all of it except for Zuko's was destroyed. So like he's like the
mhm.
only one in existence. So like that's like the
Like,
only
but
one.
and then the princess asks, like, even my stuff was destroyed? He's like, yep.
Which yeah, which
They're
basically
like the fucking Nazis stole it.
which
Mhm.
Izuku says I need to meet with the person that runs this country. I need to talk to him. Which Miu says
Mhm.
yeah, me too. Which
Mhm.
Izuku says can you take me to the king or whatever you guys call it in Japan.
Mhm.
Prime Minister,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, and no, he doesn't know about the prime minister. If they say, "Oh, you mean the prime
I
minister?"
think
He's
they
like,
have no wait. They still have an emperor. Yeah, they still have an emperor.
"No, Japan doesn't have an emperor. It's a
Yes,
Doesn't
they
have an
republic.
emperor.
It doesn't.
They don't. They do
no,
not.
they still have an
And
emperor.
My
They may
Hero
not run the
Academia, they don't.
country, but they have an
They don't.
emperor.
Say
They
that.
don't. They don't. They that shit went away way too quickly. It's America took over. Remember, took over Japan.
She died.
Yeah, which basically they drive to the prime minister's place, which Izuku basically barges in. The prime minister is like, who are you to join to come here? He's like Izuku Midoriya, the original emperor
Zero
of
like,
this land.
what? Matt? It's like,
Wait, should we make it to where like he becomes like the fucking emperor or whatever?
No, 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 no,
Emperor,
no, no, no.
Emperor Zuko.
Which they go and bow down. Basically, Zook says, "There's no need for such. My spot has been already taken."
Wait, do you
Basically,
want
I
it to make it to where he inspired heroes? Like,
yeah, yeah,
Yes, he did.
yeah. They basically, the news got hold of this somewhat. Basically, of Emperor
How?
Izuku,
How?
basically.
Explain how. There's no one who snoops like that. He'll be cut and slashed. How?
Plot.
Right.
So on the news, breaking news: the Emperor Izuku Midoriya, and his wife Mio Midoriya have came back to life. Seemingly somehow they've came back to life. The original hero of Japan has came back to life. The person who has created quirks
The true number one hero is here. The person that created
is now talking with the Prime Minister.
which was always like, what the true number one hero?
Which yeah, which let's just say the one for all users was they heard that inside All Might, they basically were too shocked
Mm-hmm.
because they knew. And then they dragged their All Might into the mindscape. They're
Mm-hmm.
like Toshinori. That's the person who created quirks.
Yeah, which almost like what?
They're like, yeah. So you better show, you better be grateful to him, basically. And he stopped. And the first one for all users is like, he stopped a zombie apocalypse that appeared back in the 6th century,
Mm-hmm.
which
Oh
almost like,
yeah,
which
you
yeah.
should be thankful for him.
Mhm. Which
yeah, like as a matter of fact, he's
which
the
the
one
prime
that
minister says, "Do you
inspired.
want your spot back as the emperor?" Like that. Which is like, no, no. I can see that you're already running the country perfectly well. It's okay. I'ma just be a citizen here. It's okay.
It's like actually no, I'm just gonna be standby.
I'm just gonna stand by. It's okay. If there's any troubles or anything, just call me.
Mm-hmm. So like,
No
okay,
fucking way.
should we give him like all the quirks? Like he has all quirks because he's the one that first like was in the like put the flower there.
Mhm.
No, we should give him the power to create quirks.
Or how about he actually drank it first, basically just to test it.
Mm-hmm.
So he has all quirks, but he didn't know. He didn't unlock it. So but he once he
Yeah.
go into the future, basically like he started unlocking all the quirks. He's like, what the hell is happening to me? Which they're like, wait, you, it's in rumors.
Then
It said that the flower basically was consumed by you first, which brought the quirks into existence.
and one. This is not one for all my has. This is a completely stronger one for all.
Hmm.
Completely stronger. All classes the other one.
But also the one for all users can go to that, and they can go back to All Mights.
Well, I'm gonna go
Oh, actually
back.
no. Actually no. They can't. No, they can't.
No,
That's
no, no.
no.
Wait, let them just meet Izuku, okay? Let them just meet Izuku, okay? They can only go
They
there
only meet
once.
him. That's they
All
can't
they
do
meet him.
anything else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. Which
Mm-hmm.
Izuku basically,
Shizuka's like,
which
who are all y'all people?
he's like, who are y'all people, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Which basically Izuku basically said, which they're all basically bow down. They're like, Emperor Izuku, it's an honor to meet you, basically. Thank you for everything you've did. He's like, no, no, it's no problem. Which basically, and I, which he basically meets all of them. He meets from the first to the 7th user. You meet them all, and basically it went from first to last. Which he took handshakes to all of them, and he started conversations with them. Which they're like, how do you have one for all like that? Which says, I think because of the plant that I drank, the medicine that I drank for for the apocalypse, or like the ghoulish monsters. I did this, which they're like, oh, that's true. You're the first one to drink the flower of the quirks. He's like, yup. So any more questions? They're like, then they ask him a couple of questions like that, which I must say, let's just say Jack. Do you want
This is annoying. Anyway,
Do you want Nana Shimura to be like a descendant of Izuku? Since some theories theorize that she's Izuku's grandmother.
mm.
She's like
So I'm gonna say,
she's like
did you give one for all to Izuku yet? Did you give all his quirks to Izuku?
yeah.
You should.
Which
Ask him now.
Nana Shimura, she's like, yeah, Grandpa, it's me. Yeah, your great granddaughter, basically. He's like, huh, great granddaughter, basically. She's
What?
like,
What are you talking about?
she's like, I'm your great granddaughter, or the grandmother of, your of Hisashi or Inko, actually.
What?
Which, yeah, which
So yeah. Izuku's
sh-
training with his grandfather.
hmm and he's bonding with him, and basically, the lemon scene, you do it, Jack,
I mean,
cause you're a lolicon.
what? 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 Who said that?
I should be the
Uh,
last one to talk. I'm the man with the 1,000 fetishes.
Opioris. Nigga, you always call that shit. Don't even say it. I'm the lolicon.
Anyways, basically Izuku basically went back, to his bedroom. It was weird for
Mm-hmm.
him that he came to the future, but it was, he wanted to redeem himself for not having for not, being with the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Which Miyu comes as Izu, and he turns head and sees Mio naked. He's like, Mio. He's like, oh, you want another time, huh? Which she's like, yes, she's like, yeah, Izu. Which Mio basically goes and they start tongue fighting, kissing. Which then basically Mio pulls on Izuku's pants, and yeah, she starts riding him. She's like, oh, Izu, faster. Which he goes faster and thrusts harder, which her pussy is getting tighter. He's like, "You're tight," like that. Which yeah, he keeps on going. Which she got off and she basically starts giving him a blowjob. Which after 30 minutes, he says, "I'm coming." Which he came in her mouth for a minute straight, but she drank it all, and his stomach blubbed a little bit. Then Mio basically started riding his dick again. you know. Then basically, how there's ectoplasm's, quirk of cloning. Yeah, he cloned himself and he started putting it in her ass and vagina.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, harder, more. Yeah, fuck me harder, like that. Which, yeah, that's happening. Which, yeah, he basically came in her. Which, yeah, which blobbed her stomach even a little bit even more. Which she's basically which comes coming out of her vagina and ass. Which Izuku got some tissues, or like he got some wipes and shit, and he removed all the semen away. Which yeah, that happens, and yeah, she lays on Izuku, and basically she says I love you. Izuku says I love you too. Now it's time for Izuku to go to UA, like the old, like past Izuku to be a teacher at UA.
Mm-hmm.
So he's basically like, all right, I'm gonna go back to what do you call it? I'm gonna go to the school that my grandson is attending. Basically, my
Just
great
so this
grandson is
prove
attending.
that's so to prove that I'm
Yep.
better than everyone.
And I'm gonna go teach history since I'm from the past. I can teach
No one
history
knows about
better.
the history. As
Mhm.
always. Actually, no. Let's say there's one. Should we say there's still one zombie he did not
Yeah,
kill?
yeah. There's still one zombie, which Izuku's
Actually, no,
walking.
no, no. Let's be the queen. Let be the queen. That's somehow still alive.
Which Izuku passes and he says, "Rawr." Which Izuku looks to his left, and basically pulls out the sword and he sees the queen. Which all the people see it's a zombie. Then they fucking back off and they let Izuku basically handle it. Which he basically just imagine he unshifts the sword. I just he's behind her. I just shifts the gun. Which she's cut into tiny pieces and the head is basically blown off.
Which the princess sees her mom is like, how did she live all these years?
He's like, I guess the virus. I guess she was asleep all these years.
Which makes like, wait, she's been here for this long. How many people did she bite?
And which he sees like a horde basically coming. Which he's like, okay, these are the last zombies. I'm gonna take them head on. Which he activates one for all and he's just cutting through them basically with his armor. Basically, Mother versus Shinobi allying
Full
them the
calorie,
last horde.
100%.
hmm The
Takes
last
nothing.
horde, basically. Which is being
Nothing
projected on
left.
the news, basically like the last zombies.
hmm
Which
They all see this. It's like, what? So this is what all his heroes in the past. Bakugo's ego is down instantly.
hmm which
Thing Izuku. Actually, let's say that also future Izuku comes in and does the same thing.
hmm which
Izuku's like, what he sees his great grandson's like, and it's like
is
he didn't. It's like even in different generations, I never lose my skill.
hmm, which they fucking kill all the zombies that are left,
Mm.
and boom, they
And they tag team one. They dual finished him.
hmm Like past Izuku cuts the head, future Izuku cuts the torso, past Izuku cuts the legs, and future Izuku cuts the feet off. Which then they fucking do a fucking how they fucking swing really fast with the sword, which it appears like a blur of swings. Yeah, they both did that
hmm
without clashing into each other's swords, which they're all which the last zombies turn into tiny pieces.
Which Bakugo sees this. It's like that's Izuku.
hmm So yeah, so Izuku basically
I can't
Izuku.
keep up. He's been hiding all this power this whole time
hmm
because you know how Bakugo is.
hmm So basically Izuku and past Izuku, future Izuku, or no, I mean past Izuku, basically calls for the heroes, which they come and he says, "All right, we need to burn the bodies. That's the only way to
Burn
just
them.
fully dispose of them and remove
Yeah,
the virus once and
which
for all."
they all listen to him instantly because they know he's not more experienced than them.
hmm Which him and Endeavor basically burn all of them down.
Also, Deku has blue flames cremation style.
hmm
Even has black flames Amaterasu, because why not?
hmm Which all of them are fucking disintegrated. Like all of them are fucking burnt and disintegrated. The last of the
And Deku
virus
has
is being
respect for
removed.
Izuku. Respect. Like,
hmm
this man's better than him, better than All Might. You better
Which
have he's God. Respect.
hmm which Nezu basically comes and says, "Hello there, I'm Nezu." Basically, you wanna
And
Mr.
Izuku looks
Mr.
at him
Izuku.
for a second. It's like, wait, what? How is that animal talking?
He's like,
What happened?
I have been experimented to have a quirk. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, what you've been going through.
I'm sorry. And they shouldn't force people like that. And
He's like, it's
he
okay.
heals, he heals Nezu mentally, so he's better now.
hmm So yeah, basically Nezu says, "You wanna come work for UA basically as a teacher?" He's like, "Sure." Which also he
hmm
also give with his fucking wife Mio an immortality quirk. Both of them have immortality quirks.
hmm
Which yeah
So yeah, so Izuku is
is is
so pet. So Izuku is no future Izuku is in UA. He's not tripping or anything like that because he's now like his great grandfather. He's
hmm
badass.
is this what if Deku was in Kingdom or what if Deku was trained by past Deku?
Both.
Both, yes. counts as both. Okay.
Mhm. So yeah, so
So
Izuku.
yeah.
So Izuku goes in and written test writes like nothing.
Mhm.
It's nothing at this point.
Mhm. The future Izuku basically aces the exam both in the physical and in the writing. Like he gets first,
Mm-hmm.
which yeah, which past Izuku basically was with the teachers watching. With his wife. Basically, sitting on his
Oh,
lap. But
he's like,
I
oh my
by
goodness.
the way, Mio is actually 16. But like remember, all past past old time is actually you know what I mean by past old time. Like you could marry at
Mm-hmm.
the age of 13 or 14.
So I'm gonna say that. Also, I'm gonna say that. So Izuku. So me, I'll say the princess is there too. Say so. Look, look, great grandson is really powerful.
Which they, which I'm
He's
gonna
more
say
after you,
in the rumors it was that Mio is actually one of the most beautiful ladies like the
which is
was a
true.
yeah, but like they didn't ever they expected to have huge cleavage and like that, but they never thought it was a fucking lolly.
But she still looks beautiful nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Which they're like that's illegal. Which is like we came back from the past. Duh, it's not illegal. So they're like, true.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not legal.
Yeah, it's only for him because he's from the past. He's not used to the rules of the future,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't want to get away from his wife because of the
Mm-hmm.
stupid future rules.
You don't want to get on his bad side.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
So yeah,
yeah.
So Izuku goes. So future Izuku goes to his class with Aizawa and future Izuku as his teacher.
Mm-hmm. Do you want Mio to be also a teacher with them, basically, but always be on
Yep.
Izuku's back, basically, or on his lap, basically? She's always carried by Izuku, but she can still walk, but she prefers to be carried by Izuku
Mm-hmm.
to claim that he is hers. Nobody,
Mm-hmm.
because girls try to flip with him, but she's always with him. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like even in the bath, she comes with him. Even in the shower, even when he's texting, like basically he doesn't text. I forgot. Even when he's like outside, basically, she's always like on his either on his back or on his lap whenever he sits or goes away. She never leaves his side.
Ever.
Mhm.
Uh, like uh, oh, and future Izuku sees this like, why is great grandma on your grandpa,
He's
grandpa?
like,
Which Izuku's like,
he's like,
future, past Izuku's like,
he's like you don't wanna know. He's like you don't wanna know.
mhm.
Which yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which
They
yeah.
don't ask questions. So you want to take over from this?
Mhm. So yeah, which basically Mr. Azal says we're going to have a quick assessment test. Put these on and meet us outside. Which he's like, don't be late, or or it's a broken finger.
Mm-hmm.
Which everybody fucking makes it on time.
Mm-hmm.
Which yeah,
But then he's like, as I was like, it's like looking at Izuku, like past Izuku's like, wait, you're my idol. It's like what?
he's like you're the reason why I became a hero. Like that. He's like happy I inspired
No.
people, huh?
Mhm.
Which yeah, should we call
So
past Izuku Izugo?
Izugo, yep, Izugo.
Izugo, yeah.
Mhm.
Which
He changed his
Izugo.
name to Izugo.
Mhm. But people know he changed his name to Izuku because there's two Izukus. They will get confused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he's spread
The
around
name
the
of
fucking
Izuku now
world as
belongs to you.
Izugo, or his
Yeah.
actual name is all the whole time was Izuku, and like not Izuku but Izugo. So yeah, so they made it to they made it down, which Aizawa throws the ball to Aizawa throws the ball to Bakugo. Is like, how much did you get to, like, in what do you call it? How much did you get in the fucking in the once you're in middle school is like 6 7 meters. He's like, throw this with your quirk. He's like, die. Which, Izugo and Izuku and the rest of the class like die. Then yeah, which Izugo basically says that, which Mino says, "Oh, this is going to be fun. We can use our quirks." Which Izugo basically sits down, with his legs crossed, and basically Mio gets off his back and sits in between his crossed legs. Which, he's like, you think this is fun, basically. If you can all, oh, this is fun. So anybody who basically gets last will be expelled.
Hmm.
Which, they all hi, look at him, the same way. Like, expelled, but we just got here, Ruka says. He's like, I don't care.
Hmm. So which, yeah,
Which, uh, fucking,
Zuko
which,
got first place.
mm-hmm,
We need to talk about that.
mm-hmm. Which, the class are asking, uh, Izuko, why is the little girl with you? Because remember, she's 16, but she looks like 15 or 14. He's like, this is my wife. What do you mean? They're like, wife? That's illegal. Like that. He's like,
Zuko throws in the picture.
mm-hmm. Like, I'm from the past. What? It's not illegal. And so what? Basically,
They're like, oh, okay.
which yeah, which basically they go back up to class, and Izuku basically, and Mio, they teach like history class. They're like, okay, time for a history class, everybody. Now I'm going to teach you about the samurai ages, like that. Which, he says, he tells them about his adventures. Him and the prince and what happened to him. How he's kicked out of the empire. Basically, because he's gonna tell his stories of his adventures in history class. Which,
Do we end it here, or do we have to go through the whole My Hero Academia thing, or should we just end it here? Where he tells his story.
everything goes similar to canon, and which, we'll end it here. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and remember to like, share, subscribe.
This one shot just became a part as well. I don't know how.
No, it's a one shot. Or wait, do you want it to be a part?
Actually, let's do a one shot. Like this is when how it ended here. Like
If
this
you
is
want, we can make this part, because we made a whole fucking different story of Izuku, of future
yep.
Zuko
This is
being
part
trained, of
one. This
future,
is part
yeah,
one.
yeah.
This is the unintentional no freaking part one.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and remember, go to sleep.
Sleep.